predicted for them to be at least top 3.
Yeah, I mean, again, I feel like a lot of people around the world, right, obviously have their favorites, and usually you're looking at those regions that have the MPLs, the champions, and everything else. But I feel like if anything, from day 1 to today, day 2 so far, you've learned a lot about these teams that you may not know so much about, right? Even Occupy Thrones, the way they performed earlier, a lot of people were like, wow, now they stand out, right? So that's why I'm saying I can't wait to see what's more in store for the rest of the group stage.
It's like Gani.
Yeah, he kind of is,
wait.
right?
Everybody just can't wait.
Can't
Everybody's getting the Gani syndrome here. But we also can't wait to take a look at today's schedule. From Group C and D, we just watched RRQ Akira go against the Valley. And next up ahead, it's going to be Echo going against RRQ. But that's the interesting thing about the format of M4, right? Nobody's going to be eliminated just yet, but this is going to set the stage of who goes to the upper bracket and who goes to the lower bracket.
Conspiracy theory, left side seems to be doing a lot better than right side
You're right.
now.
Since yesterday.
Well, I mean, yesterday there were one or two moments. Yeah, it was just one. That doesn't really count. We can omit that. That was an outlier here. But yes, Echo versus RRQ. I'm very glad to be on this side of the table because I don't have to put any stakes on this just yet.
Yeah, I'm shaking. I'm sweating. Echo looking strong. And as we're going to take a look now into the group standings where RSG and RRQ, they are leading here with 1. But no, actually, it's Occupy Thrones who's leading.
I mean, they played more games so far, but I think they've had the most improvement that we've seen, right? After those 2 games, one looking like, okay, a bit slow, the second one actually looking so very close to a victory. They still are in it to win it, and hopefully it should be enough. They still have a good chance to maybe even look to tie up and try to get into the upper brackets from there, but it's solely dependent on this match.
That's what I'm saying. Like, again, you saw Occupy Thrones, right? And you still have to look back at that game, even against RRQ, like how well they did, so you can't count them out just yet, right? So, but other than that, we are going to have to give a mention to the M4 pass card once again. To all our viewers out there, it's available now, and all you have to do is complete all active tasks, and you'll be able to reach level 75 at ease and for free. Log in now, exclusive rewards like Beatrix Light Chaser, Beatrix Stellar Brilliance, and of course the M4 Beatrix figurine. They're all waiting for you guys. And don't forget the hashtags. Hashtag Mobile Legends Bang Bang, hashtag MLBBM4, and hashtag Dare to Be Great.
I can promise you that skin is waiting for me in particular because I'm already level 70.
Wow.
So close.
Wow.
No,
in Filipino, we'd say Sana all.
Sana all, man.
Sana all.
Casual flex. I hate the fact overall that even though their turn is already so very close, Nice who looked at me knowing this, just like, hey, how's the guest coins doing? Because the M4 guest is already live. It's ridiculous. So join the guest from December 26th to January 15th and get up to a 10,000 pass EXP, which would be enough to upgrade the pass by 10 levels, so don't miss out.
Wow.
Same hashtags here.
Same hashtags, don't forget, okay? Dare to be great, but what else is great? It's going to be Echo here with the main 5 lineup. We have Sanji, Sanford, Benny QT, Carl Teasy, as well as JP.
Wow, okay. JP's going to be playing here. This is what we call the San duo, right? Sanji, Sanford. So let's see how it all works out for them.
We're all passengers of the hashtag Echo Express. Introducing the runner-ups of the Philippines, Echo on the stage.
Look at them. Look at them.
Look at the jackets.
Yeah, they've got the jackets. They even have stage presence. Look at that. They were ready. They prepped this all day to show it off. And I don't know. It's stressful for me to see both of the 2 top teams in the regions looking to battle it out here today.
And on that note, we have RRQ Hoshi's main 5, but without Clay once again. It's actually going to be Lemon stepping in with R7, Skylar, Albert, and Vic.
Like I said, man, after quite the nail-biter game that they had with Occupy Thrones earlier, I'm looking to see how they approach this game, right? Because we had interesting picks for them, so I want to see how they handle this game.
So let's introduce the Kings of Kings looking for their next crown. It's RRQ Hoshi all the way, well, still here in Indonesia.
They still had to travel, right? It's okay.
They still had a bit of travel
10-minute traffic from the hotel, but Yeah, I mean, RRQ Hoshi, a lot of eyes are actually on them today. They nearly lost that game previously, and I can feel the crowd really shaking as we're also going to take a look at the talents prediction.
All right, this is the even split here. Couple people leading towards that, couple people leading to RRQ. My personal prediction, however, I really hope it doesn't show up on this next page, so I can make my little bit actually work on. So I'm gonna drag this out a little bit longer than I should. Please don't be me. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, thank goodness, because I am voting for the team that's gonna win.
That's the safest answer you can go with on the desk.
Look, I would like to have my Instagram with me by the end of today, all right?
And on that note, you know, I was thinking that Gideon should actually be the one sitting between me and Naisu. Because 100% I'm hashtag Indo Pride, right?
Whoa. He's
no
bias.
Who's biased?
He's, well, me, technically, if it
you're
was
biased
Malaysia.
too? Oh yeah, but are you biased?
No.
Oh man, I was so excited to do a fist fight against Naisu.
I'm. Are you sure? I just had to retract there. Are you sure? Because earlier I did have someone challenge me to an arm wrestling match. I'll leave that up in there. Who challenged me there?
I love it. But let's jump back into the keys to victory here. And especially when I'm looking at Echo, they're looking to disrupt win Finn for sure. Again, a pivotal part, but they need to prioritize initiators. Something that, Echo is especially good at. When we're talking about throwing things at the wall and making it stick, Echo knows how to do it well.
Interestingly enough, too, because, like I said, JP's here playing, right? It's not going to be Yaoi for this matchup. So, how will that change what we're used to seeing from Echo? It might change a little bit. It might not. Again, this is something that they've had time to practice for ahead of them. We're going to be taking a look, though, at the keys to victory this time for RRQ. Vin can either initiate or counter-initiate, depending on Yaoi's position. Again, Yaoi, JP, whoever, still pretty much standard, right?
This could be a really big point here. The fact that JP is stepping in is something that RRQ might not have prepared for, or they might have to readjust their strategy accordingly, because focusing on the team fight is going to be key here. And despite their disrespectful draft against OT, and yes, they did win that, I think they're going to play more standard now.
Where's Yaoi?
Hey,
we want to see Yaoi. Yaoi, where are you at, bro?
He's back at the hotel just cheering his team on. Yeah, let's go, brothers.
I'm so excited to actually see him today.
Well, I'm sure at, some point we'll get to see Yaoi here.
Okay,
but like I said, this Echo squad, still very deadly. And taking a look at the audience prediction here, though. All right, you can see.
Let's talk about bias. That was crazy, okay? So much for RRQ Hoshi and so much for Philippines from their respective regions. But on the other side here, the second slide, we're seeing a lot of voting for RRQ Hoshi.
I'm curious, who's the 3%? Who's the 3% of the Philippines? Where do they go? Were the Indonesians in the Philippines to make that vote? To make that skew the turns a little bit? I'm not sure. But I think we have to remember, Call of TZ, previous world champion here, up against RRQ. He knows how they play. They're basically the same lineup.
MVP M2 finals as well, right? He was the MVP. He actually got the Lancelot skin as well.
He's got a skin.
He's got a skin.
That's how great he is. But if we're saying that he knows what's up, we can also say that RRQ has that information as well because of something that we mentioned before. Arcadia used to be the coach of Echo, which he just left recently back in July. So we're going to see how that pans out here in the drafting phase as we are going to go in it. RRQ Hoshi on the blue side and Echo Philippines on the red.
That's an interesting ban. The fact that they're banning out Diggy does kind of give some signals. They want to play CC, they want to play team fight oriented comps. It does have a good opportunity that Farmis might be thrown into the mix. They might even drop. Well, this is what I'm hoping for. That personally, Echo wants to take it a step further and start bringing out a Minotaur, because why not?
You think Minotaur? I was gonna say I'm thinking Atlas.
That too.
Who I can't recall from yesterday all the matches, but I don't think, have we seen an Atlas yet?
No, not yet.
We haven't, right? And usually the bane of that is that Diggy pick. So it's banned out, and the next ban here from RQ is going to be that Joy. So they don't want to have to deal with that big question mark, right? There's going to be one ban here left for Echo. But my question is, what does RQ want to prioritize?
I was thinking the Valentina was going to be taken out, but Echo, they don't want any.
I
For sure. I mean,
They hate glue too.
Blue is a little disgusting at this point, right? Such really good CC, and he also has really good cooldowns, and he can basically not have to recall because of that skill 1. But now RRQ Hoshi, are they going to be prioritizing this Valentina? And if so, that is going to be a super great hero for Lemon in particular.
It honestly is really difficult because this first pick is so very important. Most people, in previous metas, we've seen a lot of flex picks coming out first, but this Valentina is going to force, at the very least, Echo to adjust their comp to make sure they don't give too many valuable ults. But no, instead,
Just as you were saying.
they're like, nah, we'll fight you. We'll fight. Take my ult. Me.
We got it. I was gonna, and to build up on that, I was gonna say, Valentina's great priority pick because then the other team's gonna be like, okay, we gotta be careful. But like you said, no, not here, right? So rear road manipulation on both sides, possibility there too. I like the carry pickup. I still feel like one of the biggest disadvantages of the carry pickup is obviously the range, like we talked about in the previous game, So if you get shut down to the point where you can't even get into the fight, and which again could be another opposing real world manipulation that makes it even harder than that already is,
Possible,
that's troubling, right?
Of course, and I think, at this stage, now that you see Eve, do you want to pick up Suppress? Yes, they do. Both Claude and as well as the Kaja, really smart options here coming up from RRQ. Kaja, at the very least, can lock down can lock down anybody, but more importantly, can stop the box, the real world manipulation coming out of Eve. And obviously, you got to have a Claude. I mean, Skylar, he's going to be cracked at it.
That's the question that I was thinking, because it's either the Kaja or the Franco. And we all know Vince Franco, especially in MSC. It was always banned from him in each and every single match. But the Kaja is going to be the choice this time around. It is a lot stronger. But now we're going to see here, coming in from Echo, the next big Fredrin. So they want to secure a really good flex pick as well. Not really sure just yet where this Fredrin is going to go.
Yeah, so far, based on what we've seen in the pattern of day 1 and day 2, most Fredrins do go into the jungle just so that you can have your presence and at the very least be the shield for the rest of your team. But I think Echo, the fact that they're banning out the Lapu Lapu, they want to protect their backline as much as they can to ensure that nobody really gets in too deep on this carry.
Yeah, because, you've already got obstacles in front of you. But that also makes me wonder, is the Fredrin jungle, right? Or is it going to be thrown in the XP lane? Now, with that Lapu Lapu ban, maybe they want to come in with a different matchup, right? For Fredrin if they park him there. Because like you said, if he is in the jungle, sometimes you really have to play around that, right? Now, Fredrin takes a lot of damage, but it's also sometimes you have to put yourself in a not so favorable position to get those knockups, the taunts off. And how often really do you see that Prazer's Wrath pick up a kill? When it does happen, it's awesome, right?
Yeah.
But it's still something that's difficult to pull off in the right moment.
That's actually a really good point here, because when we look at RRQ, the fact is that their composition generally wants to limit what Echo plays around, right? Oh, you're looking for an engagement? We're going to shut it down. Pick one of you off and then look for the all-in at the end of the day. The Lolita gets banned out, and finally, the Hayabusa coming in from Echo.
Yeah, they're starting to limit any options for Albert here. What is he going to be picking up? But the crazy thing about Albert now is previously he was really known for those assassin types, but he's also evolved in case he wants to onto those tank or even fighters in the jungler. So with this much CC from the Eve, do you think you could pick up someone like the Martis?
Honestly, I think it would be really, really disrespectful if he locks in Lancelot and plays Call of Duty skin and wins this game.
Oh, I'd like
Think
that.
about that for
I'd like
a moment.
that.
That would be ridiculous if he pulls that off. A bit upsetting, of course, but the Yu's all going to be locked in.
So I think that gives us our answer where the Fredrin's going, right?
Fredrin
so,
jungle.
And I was going to say this similar concept here was that Carl Tizzi, known for the assassins, right? But at some point in the meta, like a lot of these junglers, they had to force themselves to learn these objective-based utility junglers, right? So again, I feel like jungle is still a very important role for all of these teams here in M4. But at the same time, what we're seeing is XP, roam, the mid lane especially, where then gold lane, the marksmen, or it's not always marksmen, but the gold lane, they shine much later on. The thing is, the trend so far is we don't see these super long games, right? I mean, there's been a couple 20-minute games, but again, how does that all play out? And look at that, RRQ is going to lock in an Akai as well as the Benedetta.
I feel like this is like an RRQ classic, is it not, Eterna? Come on. I mean, they got the Benedetta. I mean, the Akai, of course. I mean, honestly, I would have loved to see a Lancelot. That would have been great, but Akai does the job so well at pushing back the aggression of Echo.
I mean, it's Benedetta's on R7. R7 on Benedetta, so that is a signature pick for him, in particular here in the Indonesian region. And now, what is Echo gonna, sum this up with? Because I really like that Yuzong pick initially, taking it away from RRQ to choose because they had a really strong backline in that heave. And as a result, they are gonna be picking up a CC hero here in Kufra.
That's really interesting. I was thinking maybe some way to combo with the Eve, some way to kind of disengage.
I was thinking Atlas.
I was thinking Atlas as well, maybe even a Lolita, but Kufra I think is an interesting blend of both, right? It's still spatial denial, but the playmaking capabilities could be the difference in this game.
There you go. The two final lineups coming in from RRQ Hoshi as well as Echo Esports. Who is going to come out on top, as they have brought very distinct, different type of play style in the way that they drafted and their composition-wise.
Yeah, and honestly, if they want to be playing for the later stages of the game, that's absolutely something that Echo can do. However, as we saw in our previous matchup of RRQ Akira up against the Valley, that Claude can make all the difference, including that Benedetta with a Petrify. So let's jump right into it. The Land of Dawn awaits us here, as one of these teams are going to be walking away feeling real good about themselves. Is it going to be from the Philippines or Indonesia? Take your votes and your guess coins out now.
Let's go. Coming into this first game here between two of the giants of their particular regions, we see that Benny Cutie is actually going to start off with helping out Carl TZ in that buff, and therefore he is going to be able to rotate quite faster than Albert.
Whoa. What's going on the top side here? We see the Kufra actually looking for it, and he hits it.
Yeah, he's going to find Skylar here, but BMI's out. Should be fine. Vin now there to help him too. So, and this is the thing, right? Where do you park these roamers, JP and Vin, to get the most of value out of it, right? Because at the same time, XP lane, that Benedetta Yuzhong matchup, that's going to be more so interesting how they develop into these objectives, right? Especially the first turtle and where that first kill can be. And it could be up here, and that's the focus, but it's Lemon though. Sanji forcing the flicker out. He flickers in. Sanji with the first blood.
I mean, you could see even from the beginning of the game that Sanji was really pressuring Lemon there in the mid side. Lemon is known to play really aggressively, and this time around, it actually put his team in a disadvantage.
Yeah, this is great for Sanji as well. I mean, he's already got the mystery shop, so he's going to be accelerating even faster. Luckily, at the very least, Lemon only loses a bit, but now the cash comes through.
Oh, that's going to be tough, but they do get the flicker out from Vin, so that's a nice pickup, right? Because he doesn't have the Divine Judgment just yet, but still, with that being down, this should make it a little bit easier to grab, or at least contest that first turtle.
Right now, Albert already going into that bottom side, looking for the pressure because the turtle is going to spawn in under 5 seconds, and that's exactly what they want to do. They want to set up first, and even in the top lane, it seems like Skylar might be having a little bit of a hard time with the early game damage that Carry has.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, like, the timings, right? Level 2 is when Carry starts to get really, really good, but now they've already locked down Albert. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, they're going to force this one. Turtle's still going to be focused. One retribution comes out, but it's focused by Carl TZ, able to secure it. And now they're still going to be focusing on the target as Albert falls here. So it's a turtle and a kill for Echo.
100% worth it for Echo there. I think RRQ Hoshi, they went a little bit too aggressive. They did set up first, but unfortunately, at least they couldn't have gotten a trade because Albert missed his retribution.
Yeah, but it's one of the... Hey, it happens. It happens. But for now, Echo is going to be in the lead, and they're going to take their time with this. This is going to be a very slow roll considering the composition overall.
1,000 gold though.
Relax. The table didn't do anything to you,
1,000 gold.
Don't abuse the table. The table didn't do
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm getting very passionate about this game. But yes, Echo is leading with 1,000. You can already see that Benny QT has secured that corrosive scythe. So all these items are starting to come into play, and that might be bad for Skylar here in the top lane.
Honestly, it's quite interesting that JP is hovering around the top side so much.
I mean, that's the best case scenario for them. You really want to just park there. If you can find a pick off, this is something that we were talking about previously in the backstage is where does Kufra fit in now? It's high risk, high reward. And that's going to be the right target as they find Vin, forcing the flicker out. No one's going to go down just yet, though. Carl TZ now looking to back everybody out. There's probably not going to be anything committed just yet, but still, JP going to charge up. Do they go in on this top side? But for now, disengage.
Yeah, they have to. 25 more seconds until the turtle comes back up. I mean, the proxy of the waves started by R7. No, they don't want that to go to waste, but he's not going to get caught here, right? No, definitely. He's R7. He's got a brand to keep.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Still sweating here. 1,400 gold lead. 8 seconds left on the clock. But you can see Fredrin already. Seems like Echo, Fredrin, they all have that better space on, and they have the better setup for now. Either RRQ, Hoshi, they're not going to contest this. They're going to look for something else. Or they have to find the proper setup here.
Yeah, they're going to have to rely on Vin, but the Black Dragon form does come out to Sanford. Albert looking to try to get the turtle. He does. What a retribution as he's able to secure it. And now Sanford caught in the back line. Carl Teasy, though, to help him out. It's R7 on the hunt here. Gets the Petrify off. Can he get the kill? He's bobbing, he's weaving. He's smashing. Still, though, it's Carl Teasy that falls. And that's going to be actually, R7 survives it.
Oh, wait, no. Okay, he does.
He does.
He gets away with 1 HP.
Oh my
Grandma.
goodness. I was about to throw up there. Literally about to throw up, and I could definitely see it in Eternal's face. If that appraisal's wrath went through,
Yeah, it was close, man.
very different story. However, I will say that RQ, their win conditions in a 4v4 comes down to whether or not Vin is able to find that pick. Oh, no. Hold up.
JP. Again, Skylar, will he be, actually doesn't even need to use the BMI, but now Sanji up here too. Vin gonna have to back off, does not have the Divine Judgment. Lemon, though, gonna take the real world manipulation back, and now forces them to disengage. It's a cat and mouse game here in the top side.
Does not end. It really does not end. Both sides not trying to not give each other that space, and I think RRQ need to unlock Skylar from this goal lane. These are strong 5v5, but 4v4, it's really, really awkward when you don't have that damage. You're depending on R7 and Lemon, who are, especially with the heroes that they're using, aren't known to 100 to 0 people this early on in the game.
You gotta say though, like Skylar, as much as focus has been put on him from Echo, he's doing a great job. He hasn't died, right? And he does have that Purify able to help him out here, but still, so far, with as much attention as being put up there, this is best case scenario for Skylar. He's still able to farm up, do at least decently well in that lane, and then hopefully transitions later on. Again, Vin really hasn't had the opportunity either to find the Divine Judgment he's looking for. So this could be it. Conceal Play gonna come out. Flicker comes in. They find Carl TZ. That's gonna be a kill under the turret. Looking for another, but JP gonna charge up and not commit. The turtle has spawned though. So now does RQ look to take the turtle here with Carl TZ down?
Doesn't seem like they want to. They have a man advantage though, so it should favor them in particular. But look at Benny Cutie. He is so focused on those objectives. He's gonna get a tower to the top side. But oh my god, Albert!
They're gonna find Albert here. Quite a few combinations coming out. Albert gonna fall, but look at the damage from the Electo final blow. R7 gets Sanford. It's Skylar that grabs the kill. Benny Cutie on the backside. He's in misplaced. Benny Cutie though with a play before he goes down. He's one hit away. Wait, Benny Cutie survives.
Oh, 2 for now, but that was beautifully done by Echo. Okay, they did have a lot of casualties, but they are going to be able to force and push RRQ off this next turtle and even perhaps take it for themselves.
The pressure is on. Did Benny Cutie's first item Wind of Nature to survive that with 1 HP? We're going to have to check the items in a little bit. There's just so much action happening across the map. It's hard to keep up with it this time.
I mean, there you go. Items.
Oh my goodness. Wait, having a
He
look.
has it.
Yeah, he has it.
He had
Second
the
item
corrosive
already
side,
gone, but
yeah.
he had the corrosive side, which is actually really important here, because if he did not have that corrosive side, Skylar would have easily just walked away from the fight.
Man, that is such a clutch moment to have that too, and just the way that all played out. Again, Benny Cutie able to grab that early kill does set him up here, but Skylar still, right? He's managed to grab 2 himself, so those marksmen, those gold lanes are really going to pop off as we get into the further part of the mid to late game here.
Oh, I will say that Skylar has a bit of an advantage with the golden staff, but until we see the man, the myth, the legend, Benny QT get one for himself, that's when he's really going to show his stuff here. Oh,
Vin is just waiting to see if they can. Both real world manipulations come down, but look at the damage from Sanji. Able to grab a kill, Lemon falls. Carl Teasy on the backside though, now on the hunt for Skylar. Pokes him a little bit, but not able to commit. The taunt's there. Fins could be in trouble here. JP, he's actually gonna survive, so doesn't have that follow-up they needed there.
No. two of the members from RRQ Hoshi, they weren't focused on that. They were trying to get objectives in the top and the mid lane. But now RRQ Albert, he could be in trouble as Echo once again getting another tower in that bottom side.
Again, the slow roll, this is what I was talking about. As soon as Echo was able to actually get that lead, they're going to slowly start bleeding RRQ out until they have no more resources left. And it's going to be highly dependent on Skylar to try and get to that game. But the later stages, yeah, look at this. R7, again, I'm not even worried. Look at the Classic just going at it. An absolute OG, naturally with his own mechanics, gets out of the situation. But yes, Echo is playing for late, and that's where we have to keep our eyes out for.
But even then, Sanji's already popping off with that damage. I mean, he doesn't even have any damage items per se, right? He has the Ice Queen wand, and he also has the Enchanted Talisman, so more cooldown, more to utility. But even then, the damage already felt, and even Lemon was taken out before that. So very well played by Echo in terms of that team fight, as now both teams are going to start centering and focusing on the next objective, and that is going to be the First Lord.
Well, I don't want to be that guy that said, Lemon's taking all that damage and died, but that was kind of on him for the most part.
Well, I mean, either way, both teams here in a good position for this First Lord. I think it's just going to be juggled around a little bit as both teams do the Lord dance, as we've seen many times before. But still, there's the golden staff pickup for Benny Cutie here. So if he can get in that range that he needs to be, this could be a very bad position for RQ to fight in.
I agree. But on the flip side here, we can see R7 already clearing that top side, putting a little bit of pressure, as here JP misses his ult.
JP's going to miss that, but Albert poked a little bit here. Black Dragon form going to come. Who does secure the Lord? It's going to be Carl Teasy with the Retribution. But on the backside they go. Electro final blow. It's R7 that falls. Benny Cutie, though, and Sanji. 2 down for RRQ. Carl Teasy still in the chase to push him out. And now the eyes are set on the tier 1.
It looks tough here. I mean, the fact is, Echo is playing as a 5-man unit. RRQ just one man, just a little bit late to the party, and even Skylar just struggling to find the opening to get into that middle and get into the middle of the fight. So they're just cutting their losses for now.
Oh my god, the pressure coming from Echo. Now they're focusing on the mid side. They're trying to clear the waves as fast as they can because they have a Lord to cover here on the bottom side. Frailty's going to take away that red buff as well. This is looking quite chaotic for RQ.
Oh, Albert going to get caught here in a bad position. He's going to heavy spin, try to get out of there, pushing Carl Teasy into the turret. Able to grab a kill himself. Albert with a pickup. They lose that turret, though. Does Echo press the situation here? JP going to jump in, finding Albert. Rear world manipulation going to come down from Lemon, forcing Echo back a little bit here. Black Dragon form committed. It's Albert, one hit away as he goes down from Benny Cutie. Lemon falls too. JP into the deep of the base, but R7 with a massive play. Electro final blow committed as 3 fall for Echo.
Oh my god. What was that sound, Gideon?
What a I mean, there's just so many moments. It's still, sorry, it's just the ad-libs at this point, but like Benny QT, when you see somebody get to that level of attack speed, you don't get to see people survive it that often.
No.
I mean, just look at this. Albert, you guys, you're expecting that. Lemon dash just one time forward, takes 12 auto attacks and dies instantly.
And look at this, Vin also taking so much damage, but this is the masterpiece. R7 able to deal out so much damage there in the bot side, and even buy enough time for RQ Hoshi to kind of recalibrate themselves into this next part. But we're going to take a little look into the items first.
Looking at R7 right now, he's currently 3 items. I think he's building into a Malefic Roar for his 4th. Looking at Skylar, he's in a good position with 3 items in and of itself. But if we're looking at supports, that's the big difference here. Because with the supports, they're building as tanky as possible, but immortality makes all the difference for a Kufra.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, the question about Kufra, where does he fit so far? Because he's kind of, in a way, that hero has fallen off a little bit. But so far, JP's doing an amazing job at really finding the setups that he needs to, utilizing the Kufra here. Especially, I mean, with Sanji setting up those perfect real-world manipulations so far, Lemon's doing it too. But the thing is, I haven't seen Vin just yet exactly find the mark he does. He has the 7 assists. He's finding targets. But if he can cancel out Sanji, that's going to be a huge play for RQ.
Oh.
okay, that's a good disengage. Nobody is going to, bite the bullet for now. And I think our RQ also understands, like, yeah, we're slightly behind, but it's not the end of the world. Sure, you want to have Lord? Fine, we can defend against it. Their high ground should be enough for this.
They don't have the real one manipulation, but a flicker comes out. The blazing duet from Skylar, but Vin could be in a bad position. R7 though, keep an eye on him, looking for an angle here. A little blow to come out. He gets canceled a little bit here. Sanford still up. R7 gonna fall to Sanji, and he's still going as Lemon gonna be the next target, able to survive, but they might chase him down. He's slowed with the flicker in from Sanji to clean up.
My God, 3-for-0 trade. Echo gets the Lord. This couldn't be a worse game for RRQ Hoshi at this point. You saw that R7 was trying to do his best. The way that he does it, right? That's so signature R7. Whatever hero he chooses, whether it be the Benedetta, the Cho, he tries to looking for that flank, but unfortunately the follow-up damage from the other members are not there. And here we go, the siege from Echo.
Be a full force siege here from Echo here. One more turret to go up on the top side. They've got to handle this Lord. Echo setting their sights on the bottom side. Carl TZ already handling that wave. Can RRQ defend here and keep in this game? Echo now full force bottom side. Sanford comes in with the Black Dragon form. RRQ looking for any angle, but Echo calls the back signal.
Value. Just cash money all the way through. They've gotten that 7.7k lead for themselves. They don't need to go any further. No Lord empowered minions, no Lord in and no Lord as well. So they just back off. They don't need to do any more than this. They know that they're getting really close to the end game. Oh my God.
Well, they're going to focus on R7. I don't think he was expecting that death push either.
Oh, that's so cheesy. It always works. It works every single time. Everybody forgets about the bottom and top rush, and this time R7 has to pay the price. Right now, when we're talking about this Kufra, there is, in previous metas we have seen Kufra play into the Kaja because it doesn't allow Kaja to get away after the Divine Judgment.
Oh man, Echo looking to end the game here as both real world mutilations come down across from each other. Lemon and Sanji still no commitment yet on that crystal from Echo.
Anybody else getting bombing run vibes just to be like, just to show dominance? It's like, yeah, I can mess with you too.
I can tap faster.
80,000 gold lead for Echo up until this point, and the damage dealt is mostly coming in from Sanji. So that's why I love the Eve in this current meta. I love it because you don't have to build too much damage. You can build for utility. You can build something like the Brute Force Breastplate, but still have as much damage as all the other members.
Well, it depends on the person. I'm more of a Farsa kind of guy.
Okay.
I like both, but Gord number one. But going back to it, did you see the discrepancy in the damage dealt? Right. Typically, when you see that Valentina picked up against a Eve, you kind of expect them to be in the same ballpark, but it was a huge difference, and that's just the fact that Lemon hasn't been able to get in range to even take that ultimate or use it the way he wants to.
And that is also a big part because of the fact that they have Sanford, right?
Yeah.
That was the problem. They picked up Sanford, so even if the Valentina wanted to take the real world manipulation, it could be a little bit more difficult because of the damage input that he's taking from Sanford himself. And on that note as well, that's the thing about Lemon, dude. That's what caught me a little bit surprised because Lemon's great when he gets it. He's like a double-edged sword for RRQ. When he plays great, he plays great. But if not, look at his KDA.
Look.
0.55.
Everybody has their day, right? Knowing Lemon and seeing his career over many seasons and many M series. Oh God.
Oh man, R7 gonna just be deleted once again. Death push, but this time in the mid lane, Sanford forcing everybody back. The Black Dragon form, and just like that, Echo grabs themselves another Lord.
Oh, that's so brutal. This Kufra is just getting so much more value than I was expecting. I feel like now is the time to respect the Kufra. Prior to this, they should have absolutely disrespected JP. Like, what was he really going to do? And the fact that they did have R7 on Benedetta, maybe they could have made some play towards the mid lane like Takashi did against the Valley. So that's what I'm hoping to see. But right now, Echo, they've got all the marbles in their court, and they're just going to slowly lob them down one by one until this crystal breaks.
Look at JP charging up once again. Not going to commit to that, though. Lord here in the middle lane of the base of RRQ. They're going to set it up. Lemon with the real world manipulation. JP going to go in, finds a couple couple of targets, but has to get out of dodge as well. It's Albert taking the brunt of damage. It's R7 that falls again, though. Echo still pressing the situation here, looking to end the game as Vin falls and they find another. Benny Cutie free fighting the backside, and now it's going to be the crystal worked on. Echo takes the game against RRQ.
Clean from Echo from the Philippines. That was so beautiful to watch at the end. The damage coming in from that carry was just so terrifying. It was disgusting at that point.
It is. You can literally see the light wheels just overlapping each other because there's so many auto attacks. Sometimes there's 2 in 1. You never really know. But don't worry, RRQ fans. One loss doesn't mean the end of the world. Nobody gets knocked out.
Don't worry, Eterna. No one's getting knocked out. if you heard the fist bump on the table, that was Eterna.
I'm stressing in my seat, but I gotta say that was a really well done performance by Echo.